Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Oh, by the way, do not adjust your sets. I am not Asa Dotzler. He is traveling this week, and I, David Bryant, am filling in for him. Also, I know it's Thanksgiving in Canada, so all of our colleagues and community folks in Canada are hopefully doing something exciting on Thanksgiving, and we'll watch this later, I'm sure, on video replay. Let's get started with our weekly project call. Scrolling down. All right, Friends of Mozilla. The Mozilla Developer Relations team would like to extend a big thank you to all of the Mozilla tech speakers who volunteered their time to speak at conferences and present workshops last week. In total, tech speakers collectively presented over 20 engagements to developer audiences last week. Way to go, everyone! We would particularly like to thank Habiram, Allison, Anjana, Boris, Carolyn, Christoph, Eva, Philippe, Giannis, Isa, Jotsna, Marco, Michael, Milika, Pooja, Ramon, Rebecca, and Robert for all of their great work. Keep on rocking the free web. Thanks again to the tech speakers. All right, upcoming events. Let's see what we've got. Tuesday, the 15th of October at 19:30 Central European Standard Time, the Homebrew Website Club meeting will be in Karlsruhe. Details on RSVP are linked in the wiki. On Wednesday the 16th, the Homebrew Website Club meetings will occur in Nuremberg, Nottingham, Seattle, and San Francisco. So in our San Francisco office, hosted by Tuntech. Details and RSVP information are also linked in the wiki. On Thursday the 17th of October, another episode in our great ET speaker series. This time Associate Professor Jenna Burrell from the UC Berkeley School of Information is going to give a talk entitled When Users Control the Algorithms, Values Expressed in Practices on the Twitter Platform. There's a lot of interest these days in ethical AI, in particular in a world where we have to deal with algorithms like the Twitter algorithm or the Facebook algorithm, which influence so much of the experience we have on the web, but do so opaquely. Users don't really know what's going on, which has led to sort of a couple of interesting phenomena. One is users sort of speculating how fair those algorithms are and the influence they may have, and others, users cleverly figuring out how to speculatively seize control of the algorithms and maybe even manipulate their output. So come hear Professor Burrell talk about her research and experiences mostly in that latter piece where users are trying to figure out how to exercise some control over those important algorithms. Also on Thursday the 17th, the add-on show and tell, as usual, it'll be at 14:30 UTC, 7:30 a.m. Pacific, and if you want to see the information on the event, it's in the agenda link to in the wiki. All right, so we have a collection of events and available tickets from our DevRel sponsorship team. Always lots of great opportunities, hopefully something near you. You can pick one of them and scroll and take advantage of the opportunity to get out in the world and participate. And we're, I guess, plan ahead because Indie Web Summit is coming up next June, and you can already get information about signing up for that. It'll be in our Portland office, Mozilla's Portland office. All right, speakers, let's see who's first. First up is Asa Dotzler. Oh, wait, no, that would be me as virtual Asa Dotzler, channeling Asa and doing this week's Firefox roadmap updates. Firefox 69.03 is our current stable release. Dot release shipped on October the 10th to fix a pair of regressions. 70 is in the beta channel with the first release candidate build happening today. A lot of interest and excitement in the 70 beta. It ships to our release audience on October the 22nd, a week from tomorrow. In the nightly channel is Firefox 71. Today marks the beginning of the soft code freeze, and string freeze is on Friday. Over the last week, there have been about 400 bugs resolved, including the following notable fixes. A couple of regressions. One tab bar appearance was broken in high contrast mode with web render enabled, and I'm sure all of you are out there have web render turned on in nightly. And the other one is creating profiles in about.profiles, and those regressions are fixed in the latest nightly. There's also a separate search engine setting now, so if you right mouse click over some selected text in the browser to bring up the convenience menu, the options preference, you'll be able to do a search on those terms either in your standard search or sending it to a private browsing search. So we'll bring up a private browsing tab or window and do the search and display the search results there. If you're interested for some reason in doing the search privately and keeping the results inside a private browsing window. The contextual feature recommender is now keyboard accessible when previously users had to press F6 several times to get to it. Page up and down scrolling now takes into account sticky content like it is for position fixed. So if you're using page up and down to scroll, you can now know that the content will not scroll up underneath the position sticky content that may be there at the top of the page as a header. So we'll look for that. The Mac Touch Bar now offers search shortcuts when the address bar is focused. E10S service workers have been enabled for nightly, so electrolysis continues to percolate and the bug fixes in for service workers. And Gecko now has a DOM implementation of the WebShare API. Oh yeah, and the XBL fan club is in mourning because, well, maybe it's the no XBL fan club is celebrating because if you follow arewexblyet.com, you will have seen that we're now down to 0 XBL in Firefox. So that's a 2-year effort. A lot of hard work to get from it was 300. Was that the original number? I think 300 API instances of XBL, and we're now down to 0. So congratulations to the team for such excellent and diligent work. And that is our Firefox update. Whoops. Let's see, who's next? I think next up is Lars Bergstrom to do our weekly ET update. Take it away, Lars.
Excellent. Thank you, David. So we have 2 updates this week. The first one is that our mixed reality team released XE, our entity component system framework for the web. So while frameworks like 3 and Babylon and A-Frame have thousands of contributors and hundreds of components, integrating, say, a sparkly hands component with buttons that you can press has remained out of reach, if you'll pardon the pun. A creator who wants both has to write the sparkly hands button press component, which requires a lot of JavaScript expertise that is sort of out of the way of our normal and casual creators. Fortunately, though, this is a really common design issue in the world of 2D and 3D gaming, and there's an off-the-shelf programming solution to this, Entity Component Systems, that we've adapted to work well in the JavaScript ecosystem and on top of frameworks like 3. We're starting with the core, but have been working with the ecosystem, including existing 3JS component developers, in order to reduce this barrier to help us both build more healthy sharing ecosystems so that all hands can be sparkly, no matter what buttons they're pressing, and to be able to build frameworks on top of it that use things like custom elements so that non-JS creators can continue to build amazing WebXR experience with HTML and CSS. Read more about it in the blog post from Fernando and team that just came out this week. Second, automated language translation. The Emerging Text Speech and ML team is collaborating with the EU on a Horizon 2020 grant to develop some neural machine translation capabilities so that Firefox can automatically translate content from one language into another. As part of that work, we've documented our first integration milestone along with code and a video demo to the EU. In that demo, you can see early results of automatic translation of the German language Mozilla.org page into English in real time in Firefox. It's a 2-year grant, so look forward to more languages and wider deployment. Thanks, David. Back to you.
Thanks, Lars. All right, next up is Jean-Yves Perrier, right? Yep, on the developer relations team to give us an update on Mozilla's presence at FOSDEM. And I have your slides here, so take it away, Jean-Yves.
Yes, thank you, David. Hello, everybody. So I'm Jean-Yves Perrier working in developer relations, and I'm speaking here on behalf of the volunteer community of Mozilla that is working hard to set up our presence at FOSDEM next year. So first, what is FOSDEM? FOSDEM is a free and open source software event that has about 5,000 participants over 2 days, a weekend day, the 1st and the 2nd of February 2020. And there is about 13 to 15 different rooms, all half a day or 1 day, where there is about 200 talks about everything technical around the open source. You have numerous rooms. Like I said, some of them are really interesting to us. There is a Rust room, there is a JavaScript room. So there is a lot of things to do. And this year, like the every year for the 20 last years, so for all edition of FOSDEM, because it's the 20th edition, Mozilla has a dev room, and this today it will be on Sunday. So the room that you see there, this big pack, is not the Mozilla room. This is the main room where Mitchell Baker spoke last year. We have a smaller room, about 350 places, so that's a lot of people. Next slide, please. So I'm here for convincing you that it is a good place to go and speak. So we have a call for proposal open, and I've put 2 links to it. One very long if you want to click it, and a shorter one if you have to type it into your URL bar. We would like you to come and speak about a lot of different topics, all the topics that in fact are technical and interest Mozilla. So of course, every web technologies that we are using in the browser or elsewhere at Mozilla are very welcome. HTML, CSS, all layouts, also some JavaScript, even if there is a dedicated dedicated room, but also everything that is going out, which is new, like WebVR, WebAssembly, and other topics. MDN, Firefox DevTool, privacy, security, performance, everything around Mozilla is very welcome in this room. So I want just to help you also to convince you that it is a good place to go. So the more technical is your talk, the better it is. The audience is pretty friendly in the room. So if you are a new speaker who have never spoken in public or very few experience in speaking in public, you are very welcome to apply because people are very nice. You don't need to be a staff, even if a lot of people from the staff will be in Europe around these dates. That's a good way, a good moment to come and visit this event if you have never been. Volunteers are, of course, extremely welcome, and we try to have as many volunteers as possible. The deadline for the call for proposal is November the 12th. So you have a little bit less than a month, but don't wait for the last minute. Just follow the links and submit a talk. And I hope to see you at FOSDEM in Brussels right after all hands. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, John Eves. I'm convinced, and I'm looking forward to what I know will be a great collection of talks in the Mozilla room at FOSDEM. Let's see. Now it's time for our weekly IT Minute from Andrew Krug. I think he's on video as usual. So, Alex,
it's time for the Weekly Minute Update, where we tell you all the things IT is doing to empower Mozillians in their mission to keep the web, a global public resource, open and accessible to all. Let's start off the week with some news from the Service Desk. macOS Catalina was released last Monday, and the Service Desk team is working hard to complete compatibility testing. In the interim, if you are considering an update to Catalina, please visit the landing page here to better understand some of the new features. If you want to get updates on what's going on with Catalina testing, that information is available in the following ServiceNow ticket. Our next update comes from the IT Financial Strategy team. The Financial Strategy team works with budget planners in IT and across the organization to improve budgeting tools for 2020 planning. Now, some of these tools will be new to everyone, and some of the old tools will look quite a bit different. To help folks onboard more effectively, there will be 2 training sessions scheduled in the next 2 weeks. For more information on that effort, please reach out to Sophia Mocklin. Finally, in Zoom transition news, 12 more rooms to go for the San Francisco office. Through 3 weeks, 36 out of 40 rooms have been converted to Zoom rooms. Week 4 will target the conversion of the common space, 2 phone-only rooms, and the facilities prep work will be done to complete the remaining 9 rooms. Next week, the team jumps over to the Pocket office to upgrade their 7 rooms. For more information, follow the global Zoom transition here. That's the minute. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Andrew. I hit reload, don't see any other speakers. Let's move on to the new Mozillians introductions. First up, it looks like, is Brian Horrigan in San Francisco.
Here I am. I'm Brian Horrigan. I work on security engineering at Pocket, and I'm pleased to introduce Hristo Ganchev. He is joining us as an operations engineer, and he's working remotely from New York, New York. Hi there.
Oh, I have two people to introduce. I don't know. Hi. Hi. I think we have two new Mozillians, surprisingly, in the Portland office today. I'm here to introduce Astrid Rivera, who is joining the marketing team as a content marketing manager. She's going to be based in the SF office and comes to us most recently from Uber Eats. Hi. I also have a remote intro to give really quickly. Liz, I think there's Liz. So I want to introduce Liz Dennebaum, who's joining the marketing team as a senior social strategist. She's based in the New York area and comes to us most recently from Lucasfilm, running social for Star Wars.
Hi, everybody.
Here's Liz. Welcome.
I guess I'll just introduce myself. I'm Barbara Nichols. I'm a product manager on WebAssembly based out of the Portland, Oregon office.
Thank you, Barbara. All right, so one last reload to see if there's anything else added. Nope, that looks like it. Thanks, everyone, for coming. ASO will be back next week, so we return to our regular, smoothly run, professional weekly meeting. In the meantime, have fun and keep on rocking the free web.